our students, our faculty, our special guests that are here today. I'd like to say a special thank you to Ms. Woods for organizing this event. If we could give her a big round of applause. She's done a great job. It's a couple days before Veterans Day, but we were lucky enough to get Ms. Sandy Hart and Mr. Dale Fawn to be with us here today. So Ms. Hart is going to introduce our keynote speaker, but I want to first say a few words about her, and for those of you who don't know her. The majority of us have heard many times, and maybe even said to our students, to find a passion and pursue it. There isn't a finer example of this than the passion that Ms. Hart has for veterans. She honors those who have served us and our country. Ms. Hart's passion for our nation's veterans led her to found the Kentucky Veteran and Patriot Museum, where she dedicates her life to making sure their stories and experiences are shared with others. It's this mission of outreach and remembrance that brings her to us today. So without further ado, Ms. Sandy Hart.
Is this on? I always like to say there's nothing terrific about me. I just travel in terrific company. There's nothing better than keeping company with heroes from all generations. Now, when we did the, before the museum, we did what was known as the WW2DC trip. And the last time I spoke here with Mr. Earl Gidcombe, we found out that 7 different people, students and teachers, knew someone that went on that trip. And that was pretty spectacular. That she took time, the ones back then took time to tell me that. The one man that did not go on that free trip, it was a 6-day trip for free, and they had their buses, motels, food, entry in any place covered, was this man. You know why? He's going to tell you about being in during World War II, and he survived Iwo Jima, and he wrote a spectacular poem. But afterward, there's a reason why I have the word patriot on that museum too. This man came home, and out of all the things that he could have done, he became a teacher. And so, you know, everybody that teaches in this school could be making more money doing something else, but they chose to do this with you. So that's pretty spectacular too. Mr. Fawn will tell you how long he taught and everything, but when it came to that trip, he decided not to go on that trip because, hey, he was still teaching science and biology to high school students, and he thought they couldn't do without him for a week. So he passed up on the trip of a lifetime. We reconnected a few years ago, well, about a year and a half ago, I guess, and through his grandson reaching me. And I'm so glad because I know that much more about him now. But I know at the same time that you think about thanking the military today, thanking a veteran today, that Mr. Fawn will let you know, thank your teachers. Mr. Fawn.
I was thinking about how to address you, and I think I could do it in different ways. Let's just say, my fellow citizens. I'm so glad to have had this opportunity to come and be with you. I've been hearing about your many successes you've had since this school was built, and I congratulate you and commend you on that particular thing. I was trying to make my nest here to see just exactly where I should be. I hope I'm coming through all right. If not, somebody let us know and we'll change this around. It was late in the afternoon on December 7th in 1941. I was listening to the radio, some quartet singing, and all of a sudden they broke in and said that Pearl Harbor had been bombed. And of course that changed the lives of most of us who were living at that time. One of the big things that took place was the rationing of so many things like gasoline and food and on and on and on. Well, I was not old enough to be in the military at that time, but the next day I was in school took the old Eddyville High School that disappeared when the dam was built. And they took us in the gym with a radio, and President Franklin Delano Roosevelt said this is a day of infamy. He also said that he was going to ask the Congress to declare war on all of the ones who had attacked and those who had not really attacked. We got them anyhow. And so this was a period of time that was so different from the Vietnam War. You remember how badly we treated those who went to Vietnam. But everyone stood for us in World War II. It was a great time to be alive. And so let me just tell you then, as time went on, each person who became 18 years of age had to register, let's say got to register. In my case, I count it that way, got to register for the draft. And so I did the same. On November 8th, 1925 was my birth, but this was the registering for the draft. In a few days, I got my notice from the draft board to report. And I was a senior in high school and about halfway through the year. And I asked the draft board if they would let me continue my schooling until I finished my senior year, and they granted that. But 23 days before the end of school, and they were wanting us very fast, I went on the bus with many others to Evansville, and there we registered for the draft. And at that time I had two choices. I could choose the Army or I could choose the Navy. I could not choose the Marine Corps at that time. And of course we had no National Air Force. And that day coming home from Evansville, I was really, really thrilled and happy because I had passed for the draft. And I chose the Navy because I thought I knew more about that than the Army, but that doesn't end the story. But I want to impress upon you how happy I was that I had passed. And of course, when you're 18, you have a spirit of adventure, I think, running through your soul. And then I thought of those who had just gone in before me and so on, and I guess I just wanted to be like them. But I did have the spirit of patriotism, and I'm thankful that it has stayed with me through these years. And then, when school was out, I guess about 5 days after I had received my diploma at the old Eddyville High School, there were about 40 of us who went to Louisville, and we were all bound for the Navy. And the next day, however, when we all reported in a special room for the Navy, they picked out 2 of us, both of us from Lyons County, and said, we're putting you in the Marines. And of course, I'm glad it happened like that. You know, once a Marine, always a Marine, they say. But I don't want to take anything away from those who served in the other branches of service. And when I speak at Veterans Day programs, I want to emphasize who a veteran actually is. And I say a veteran is someone who has been sworn in to one branch of the service, whatever branch of the service, and has served. He's not necessarily a person who went overseas. Those that stayed at home also are veterans. And we have a person in our church who says he's rather reluctant to claim the title of veteran because he didn't go overseas. And I said, well, we had to leave people behind here. Someone had to take care of the home front. So if you're a veteran, whether you went overseas or didn't go overseas, and whatever branch of service you served in, and whatever your job was in the service, whatever, you're a veteran and take pride in the fact. It wouldn't hurt to walk by a mirror sometime and just say you're glad you're a veteran. Say you're glad you served in whatever branch of the service. All right, I don't know why they chose us two to be Marines. I don't think they had a Gomer Pyle back then, but some people thought maybe you were acting kind of like Gomer Pyle, and that's the reason they chose you. And so, cross country we went, Route Fast Life. We didn't go to South Carolina to be inducted. I guess they were full up over there, and they put us on the train and sent us all the way down to San Diego, California. And I had never been much to any place. I've been just a few places, Eddyville and Catawba and Princeton and possibly Cadiz, and that was all the places. So I had my little pocket notebook out, and I was taking notes everywhere I was looking, it seemed like. We arrived in San Diego, but my mom or none of our folks were there to greet us, but we were greeted like we had been prisoners, or don't tell them what. This is the Marine Corps people greeting us. And some of the language they were using, I didn't have that even in my vocabulary. But I can say something mighty good about how they impressed me at the very first. They made it rough on us. And what would you expect? We were in the armed forces. And this was their philosophy, of course. If you're going to break under this, we want you to break right here in boot camp, not out on the battlefield someplace. And so, in the Marine Corps, I don't know how it was in the other branches of service, but we were practically nobodies in boot camp. They wouldn't even call us Marines. We were recruits, and they called us other things. I won't mention any of those particular names. And then when we graduated from boot camp, we were just about everybody. We were higher than mortar. And I do approve of the way that they trained us, not the language used, but surely the way that they trained us. This was something top-notch. Well, they cut down on things. I think it was about 12 or 13 weeks that boot camp used to be, but ours was 8. They had to rush us through. War was raging in the Pacific and also in Europe, and they had to do all of this. So time came to graduate. I had a furlough home for 10 days, which meant I had 2.5 days at my home. Other time was out on traveling. Everything was moving extremely fast, extremely fast. And somewhere around Thanksgiving, they sent us to Pearl Harbor. Of course, that was overseas at that particular time. And we stayed there for a little while. And then just after Christmas, they loaded us up on one of the big troop transports, and maybe you've seen those. They would carry about 6,000 people at one time. And we started maneuvering out in the Pacific. We didn't know where we were going, of course. Somebody knew where we were going. But we stopped and maneuvered, climb up and down the ship sides and all of that. And then eventually we landed at a place that we didn't know, as I say, where we were going, when we would arrive. And they talked to us the night before and told us about Iwo Jima. And they told us it would be about a 4 or 5 day operation, but it wasn't like that at all. We landed on Iwo Jima February 28th of that year, and we stayed there until March 16th. So you see, the place was full of caves and all of this kind of thing. And when we're thinking about what Iwo Jima was like, I wrote an essay one time. I don't have time to read the essay, but just give you the highlights of the essay. People wonder, I guess, well, what was it like? And I wrote an essay called Rough, Raw Death. rough, raw death. Perhaps all of you have attended a funeral somewhere along the line, and you notice how the person in the casket generally is all dressed up. The attenders are all dressed up, and you see the beautiful flowers, and you hear the songs, and you hear the sermon, and so on. And even when you get to the grave, you'll notice that the bare, dug up earth is covered over with artificial turf. So, well, death, this rough, raw death I'm going to mention to you, is considerably different from that. Go with me now, with you. Go with me across the country, all the way to California and past the Hawaiian Islands and past don't tell how many other islands. And some of these were very famous ones that had been captured earlier. And so here we see what's taking place. Before we go to the cemetery, however, you can find in different places on the island, you can find these Marines who are dead, and only their shoes are sticking out from under the tarp there, and so on. Now remember, many of these people are 18 or 19 years old. And so then we go out a ways and we see where a bulldozer has got a long, long trench. And here we don't see any caskets anywhere. These Marines have been gathered up. When I say gathered up, I mean that to a large extent because remember, many of them are picked up in pieces and not just in whole bodies. And they're put in the body bags and then they're wrapped in the Marine blankets. And then they're laid side by side in this long, long trench. Nobody's singing any songs. There are no flowers. It's altogether different from what we see here. The death that I observed. Now, it had an effect on me. I don't talk very much about what I did for the war, but I do talk about what the war did for me. It did wonders for me. And I can remember seeing what was going on there, and I wrote my first poem, not during the war, not during the place there, but later on when we left the island. And so that started me in writing poetry. I toss this out to you. And so since that time, off and on through the years, I have written poetry. And in 1986, the House of Representatives in our state made me for life a Kentucky poet. What poet? They choose them differently now. But back to the cemetery, there came they put up monuments and so on, but the kind of monuments were different from what we have here. The Star of David was put up for Jews, and then we found that the cross was put up for Christians. But this made a big impression upon me, not just attending the funeral, but just being a Marine on Iwo Jima back then, that I promised the Lord that I'd try to do something special. It impressed me. It made me want to do something. And of course, I was fortunate enough to come home, and as has been stated, I have been a teacher. And there, I'm going to read a poem to you, and this is the one that's I guess the best known poem.
Before you read the poem,
I
I want people to look at him, and when you think about a teacher being too crowded with you, your mom or your dad being in a bad mood, and going through some trauma like that, this man witnessed on that small island almost 7,000 Americans killed and about 25,000 injured. And that's what this poem came from.
And it's called I Met the Flag at Iwo Jima. And this tells you how things happen, and back earlier what I was like and how things had changed somewhat. I met the flag at Iwo Jima. When I was just a lad in school, I never disobeyed the rule to burn the flag and treat it as a common rag. I never would have torn it down and walked its meaning over town, or spat upon the stripes there, or wiped my feet on stars fair. In no way now that I recall would I have damaged it at all. But on the other hand, you see, it meant not very much to me. I pledged allegiance as to the rest, just idle words from out my chest. I sang about the banner too, but never felt constrained to do a deed to honor those who gave their lives the flag to bravely save. And though its history oft I'd heard, yet still my heart was not much stirred. My training all it ever snag, I never really met the flag. But then it all did change one day when I was very far away. It happened back in 45, where some were dead or half alive. The morning sun was shining bright, where there had been a bloody fight. Up to the mount I looked, and there a sign of triumph in the air. Our precious flag was waving high, announcing victory to the sky. Though I had seen the flag before and said allegiance times galore, the flag meant more that morn to me because it heralded victory. It waved a message back and said, for me to fly, your friends are dead. And then it all made sense to me. The flag's the symbol of the free. That special morn on Iwo's Isle, I stood and gazed a long, long while. My heart leaped up. Gone was the saying, for there I truly met the flag. Thank you.
Through all of that trauma and you turned it into a beautiful, meaningful poem, and you decided to be a teacher in your life. How many years did you teach?
I taught for 61.
How old were you when you stopped teaching?
85.
Well, that's official teaching. You're still teaching.
In 2013, the first year our school was established, the motto was work hard and be nice. We wanted each of our students to embrace the mindset of working hard and being nice. In the spring of that opening year, our school had the opportunity to hear from Earl Gitcomb, United States Navy veteran and World War II patriot. Upon hearing his life story, we quickly realized that he possessed the very same characteristics that we wanted for our students here at McCracken County High School. He was named our first honorary Mustang. Today, our school motto is everyone matters and every moment counts. We want every moment in this building to count for good, and we want everyone in our building to know they most certainly matter. Mr. Vaughn, you have spent a lifetime embracing those characteristics. You have made every moment on that battlefield count, and you made sure every student mattered in your classroom for your lifetime of service and sacrifice, and because you, sir, exemplify everything we want for our students. It is with great pleasure that we count you as one of our own by naming you our 2019 Honorary McCracken County Mustang.
Thank you, Mr. Fawn. Before the band plays to let us out, I couldn't help but sit back there as I'm listening. And when he talks about being on the beach at 18 or 19 years old, not much older than you guys, right? Imagine how many of our soldiers, just like him, made that deal with God or whatever higher power they believe in and said, if I can only get back, I'm going to do something in my life. And so that has to be a gut-wrenching moment for you, and I can attest today, like, you've definitely made an impact on my life by hearing this, and so many others. And so we thank you very much for your service. Thank you for your time, and we could not be more proud to have you as an honorary Mustang. So thank you again.